Hey everyone! No dogs barking because I'm feeding them treats. Treatos. That's what they're having. Hey, good morning. Did you know that my dogs are stars? They're on the TV news. You're going to have to ask for their potograph next time you see them. We made the news yesterday because of a tremor or earthquake or something. I don't know what you call it because I'm not from California, so I don't know how that goes. But
yeah, it was very terrible.
And there's Owen.
Trust me, I was in my mother's room making sure the dogs wouldn't bark and crap, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I just hear,
yeah,
just the entire ground just
right
shake for like half a second.
Right.
It scared the living hell out of me.
I know. It was pretty eventful for us here. Actually, the whole week's been super eventful. Good morning to everyone. I've had a very eventful week. I'm a little tired. And there go the dogs barking now. Hey, you guys. Let's see. We had to get my mom settled in her new place, and then I had to help her dog to the bridge on Monday. I've actually had to go to the doctor's a couple of times this week, and then the earthquake, and then there's you guys in doing the show. So things are really messy around here and noisy, and it's starting to wind down, but it's been a big week, and so I'm hoping for some quiet as the day goes on a little bit. And let's see, tomorrow is date night. We're back to date night. We didn't have it last week because I was in New Hampshire, but tomorrow's date night, and we are going to be putting together the sandcastle from Dreaming Tree. So I hope you can join me tomorrow at 7 o'clock here on Facebook Live for the Dreaming Tree Sandcastle. I will post a link to that later on today, and then I'll also post a link for the event. I've been a little bit lax with doing the events this week, but I think they're helping. So welcome. We've been doing 3D, and we've been doing 3D stuff, and we're winding down. Today's the last official day of our 3D event, which is turned into 2 weeks of doing 3D things like paper flowers and sunflowers. Well, those are paper flowers, but we did a baby owl, and today we're going to finish up by doing the 3D fox, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the whale's tail because unfortunately don't have time to do that one in our event. So starting next week, we're going to be doing freebies, places you can find free SVGs. So if you are not a Cricut Access customer, which I would recommend that you are, but if you are not a Cricut Access customer and you want to use your Cricut for free without having to pay for SVGs, I'm going to find you all the places, or at least the ones that I find the most helpful, that have the best free SVGs. If you just do a search on Google and type in free SVGs, you will find quite a few places that now have them, but I have certain favorites, being a mostly paper crafter, so I want to show you a few of the ones that I like that are paper crafts, okay? So we're going to be doing that next week. I'll show you some others as well, ones that are good for vinyl and iron-on as well. So don't miss it next week. Next week also we'll be starting, let me just look at the calendar. Next week we'll be starting our August giveaways. yeah, we're going to be starting our August giveaways, and we're giving away this month, August, another Cricut Joy machine with all the extras so you can get started right out of the box. The Cricut Joy is an amazing machine, and I'm so happy to be able to award 7 of them this year. We have August, September, and possibly October coming with giveaways. You'll get a Cricut Joy brand new in the box and a bunch of other stuff that that I think that you'll like. We also do regular monthly giveaways. So if you're new, definitely tune in. We'll do those giveaways. We do things like in our Zoom call, which is next Saturday night, we do giveaways for the best whatever we decide it's going to be. So anyway, there's that. So the big news today for me is that my dogs and myself made the local news. WCVB came out yesterday after reading my post and interviewed me for a little segment. We had an earthquake. It was a very small earthquake, like 1.5, or I don't know. I don't know earthquakes. I've lived in New England all my life. What do I know about earthquakes, right? But what was weird was right before the earthquake started, like at 7 o'clock. And I know it was 7 o'clock because I was sitting down at my desk to log into a conference call. But at 7 o'clock, the dog started acting very strangely, whining and being very, very upset and sort of pacing and panicky. And they're not like that, not at all normally like that. So I had Owen bring the boys into my rooms to, just to kind of play with them and stuff, wind them down or something. And then Lola was underneath my desk, and then I logged into my phone and was doing my call, and we heard a loud explosion, and the house shook as if a truck hit it. So Owen and I both kind of ran out to see each other and like, did you feel that? Yeah, we felt that. So there is that. This is actually good news because we're actually finding out what's going on. We've been feeling these sort of bumps or explosion type noises for several months, and we didn't know what it was. And so apparently those were just like kind of tremors ahead of this little earthquake. Yeah, it's kind of scary. Yeah, WCVB.com. I don't know how to find it, but the dogs made a very nice appearance in the TV part, and I did post a picture on my personal webpage. So I was so glad that Teddy Bear and Benji got to be on TV because, they're famous. Lola wasn't on the picture because she was acting very agitated still. Lola's very agitated little doggy. So we have to kind of separate her out sometimes. Anyway, the guinea pigs were, being guinea pigs, and there was no Frankie. And Owen was still in bed. So we didn't have those guys, but we're all fine, and we'll just keep rolling along, as you say. So let's talk a little bit about these 3D projects. Specifically, we want to do some work on this 3D Fox. I did have to, because it takes a very long time to put this fox together, I did have to sort of partially assemble it, and I hope that you don't mind. I did cut it out several times, and I'm working on the second one right now. It's easy to cut out. It doesn't require a whole lot of paper either. 2 sheets of a red, half a sheet of off-white, and half a sheet of black, but I switched it to brown because I know black is a little more authentic, but I couldn't read, since we don't have white markers. I couldn't read the numbers that you need to see, and it caused a problem with my assembly of my first one. So I changed it to brown, and I think that should be fine. So so I'm going to show you how to put it together. I put like the pieces together, so I have like the head and the tail and other things. This is, I think, the body. Is this the tail? I don't know. So I put these all like partially together, and we're going to put the rest of it together. These 3D things have been a little challenging. There aren't a lot of instructions with them, and you really have to take your time and make sure that you're putting it together right and in the right order, which makes it kind of hard because there is no numbers. The thing I love about there are no numbers. The thing I love about SVG cuts and Dreaming Tree is that they generally have numbers to things, and although they don't have a lot of the writing, that type of thing, they have pretty good instructions, printed instructions. You're not going to find that with these. However, that's why I'm here. So I'm going to show you a little bit how to put this together. So this fox is about 7 inches, I think, by 6 inches. It is not something you can change. You can't change the size. It's just something you can make. So here's my original fox, which I'm kind of cheating here because the feet are not in there properly. I'll show you. Take the feet out because I should have added the feet, the front paws, before I put the whole thing together, but I didn't. And so at the end, I was trying to figure out how to do all 4 paws, and the front ones were just, I don't know, a mystery to me. So I'm going to show you what I did to get around it. As far as the whale's tail, which I did it 3 times, okay? And all 3 times I ended up with the same problem, and that is I had trouble with this seam, or at least one of the seams. So the whale's tail is made up of, it's all paper, obviously, all one color. And you put together this flipper, and here is the base, right? And I got the base okay. I put the flippers together, but then getting it all together was challenging. So I don't know if I'll do this again. It's really kind of messed up. So I think I'm going to maybe retire these guys. I tried everything to get these pieces together. I might try again, but it's really quite clever. And if you can figure it out, I think what I would do next time, if I did this again, and that would make 4, 4th time, I would keep this piece undone and get my hand in there so I can get these pieces to get attached. But so that was a little disappointing since I really do like whales. And Owen likes dolphins. He said it looks like a dolphin. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Any sea creature. So I had better luck with the fox. So I'm going to show you about the fox. So we've been doing all of these things like these fruits. We did the mum. We did the fan palm, we did the lotus, the lily, the crystals, the diamond, the sunflower, we did the baby owl, and here is the fox. We were real busy. We did almost everything. There's the whale's tail. So if you're looking for these, they are in the project section of Design Space, and you can find them as long as you have your machine set to one of the larger machines and not the Joy. If you are a Joy only user. Some of these things can be done with those. You'll have to make some modifications, like the strawberries and the citrus slices and things like that. You might need to make some modifications because the Joy doesn't do scoring. The Joy works really well with the sunflower, so you might want to consider that because it's almost all the pieces except for the greenery can be cut on the Joy. The problem with some of these is that you cannot modify. So this is the 3D fox. When you look at the fox, really cute, right? And has a lot of really cute features like these two-toned ears and the adorable tail with the tip of the tail being white. I agree if I switch this out to just be red and white, it would look a lot like a corgi, except they don't have tails. So, but the thing that I noticed about this is that you only have the choice to make it down here. You don't have the choice to customize. I don't know why that is because I was thinking this morning, if you could customize, you could make it bigger and maybe even do it in different colors and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it would be good to be able to customize that, but I don't know why that is. So in this event, you would just be able to hit make it. When you hit make it, it will go and sort through your pieces. One of the things, if you want to save some paper, so here are the pieces. So if you wanted to use 8.5 by 11 for the cream colored, you could do that. Even for the black, you can move things around so that it would cut on an 8.5 by 11, which is cool. And then if you get down to the red, you'll notice that you have a lot of space on these pages. So there's 4 pages listed here, 4 sheets. So I would suggest that you use those triple dots and move those pieces to the other mats. You can actually do this and get down to two pieces of two pages of 12 by 12 cardstock. I actually used Cricut cardstock for this, and because they have a really great orange color. I do admit that I had it in my stash, but I wanted to speak on that because the Cricut cardstock is making a comeback. So anybody who thinks that they're going to discontinue, it's not true. They are for sure keeping it in stock. They're just trying, I think, to modify things a little bit to make it even better, maybe add different colors. The glitter cardstock is also making a comeback. So for all of us paper people, just keep your eyes on the Cricut site and you'll see. Also, I just want to mention that they have a wonderful back to school program going on, a sale, and I was able to pick up a bunch of mats and blades at 30 to 40% off. And then I used my code, which I got 10% off plus free shipping. My code is cricutchat.com. I always put that in the description of my video. So please use that. That helps me. It gives me a small percentage of your sale without any additional cost to you. And then also I was able to use my $30 coupon because last month I made an order for over $100 and they had a special promo where if you order over 100, you get a $30 coupon to be used at a future time. So I did do that. So I was able to pick up a ton of blades, and a ton of mats, both for Joy and for the other machines. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Yay. I also got a new scoring wheel and tip because mine was malfunctioning a little bit. And I've been using it a lot for these projects. So I just thought I would mention that, it seems like it's a little bit loose here. And so when I was putting it in the machine, it got so that the tip sort of it would detach in the machine, and it was like really, it was really frustrating. But what I will point out about this project is, or any of the 3D projects that have this writing on it, is you have to use the paper with the good side facing down, and I'm going to show you that. So here is for this project, there is my Cricut paper. This is a color I know that's Cricut, and I want to just point out, so this is like kind of like a textured part of Cricut. If you've ever worked with Cricut cardstock, you'll know that there is like a textured side and a like smoother side. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put this with the textured side down, and then you're going to cut it and do all the scoring and stuff and the writing on the back. And that means, so when you put it together, you won't see all these numbers, because that's a problem if you saw all the numbers, and you want to use the better side of the two cardstock, right? So I just thought I would mention that. Let me bring you down so you can have a look at what I've done here. So I have actually cut this out like 3 or 4 times. Here is my first one. I used a lighter orange on there, and I just want to point out, like, look at the nose. This is very detailed. I didn't put this one together correctly, at least not the way that I should have, because the arms are kind of loose, because I wasn't able to particularly read the number of the where it's supposed to go, and then I didn't attend to it until the end. So what I decided to do on the next one is make sure that I put the legs, and the front and the back legs, in before I go to assemble. I think this is the best way to do it. I also did the same thing with the ears. You notice the ears are two-toned, so I just found both pieces of the ears, put them together, and then put them in here. Makes so much easier to get those ears and the arms in there. So there's like the upside down version inside of the skull of my paper fox, and there are the ears, and then attached to it are like kind of like the neck or the girdle or whatever you want to call it, the ruff of the fox, and these are the front paws, and they're not going anywhere. And this is the base, and this is the back paws. The paws go together. I'm going to show you. I cut them out of brown. This is actually a deeper brown, almost like a black. So I wanted to see if I could see the pieces of, I'm sorry, the numbers here. So the paws are two type. This is the front paw, and you're going to make almost like a square like this, and then you have to close it up. So you're going to actually make a square like this, almost like a box, right? You're going to glue here. Whoops. Sorry. You're going to glue here and then glue there. So you're going to create 2 of these. And then when you get to this piece of your red, the main color, you're going to use these numbers and glue them in. The same for the feet, and same for the tail and the ears. Okay. So at this point, all I've got is these giant parts of it. So we're going to put this part together. So here we'll start from here. So here we've got to put the nose in, which is kind of like, it's a snout. And so it's actually 3 pieces. I put this together. It's got the cream, and then there is the nose, and then on top is the main color. So you put it together. It's sort of like just a cone. You see all the numbers, follow all those numbers, and then you go ahead and insert it into your piece like this. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm hoping that I can get this fox done in time for the end of the show. So I just thought I would tell you that. Now tomorrow, it's a slightly different kind of thing, but still 3D. We're going to be doing the sandcastle from Dreaming Tree. This is a paid file. The sandcastle is a paid file. Some of you already purchased it from Dreaming Tree a little while ago. They seem to always have a freebie going on. So if you're the way they work their freebies is you get like the newest editions of their files for free, and then you have to purchase some of their old files. So if you're about to go purchase like the freebie on, or to get the freebie on Dreaming Tree, look for the sandcastle. I will post a link as well. It's a rather big sandcastle and requires some candles, and they're going to be the LED candles that are pretty bright. And I think this is the perfect day to do it or the perfect time to do it, because Revere Beach, which is one of the oldest beaches in America, Revere Beach, I remember going there as a kid, is celebrating, I don't know, 350, I don't know what they're celebrating, but they're celebrating some anniversary this weekend, and they're having their annual sandcastle contest. So if you are local, make sure you check that out. They didn't have it last year because of COVID. So it might be a fun thing to check out, or online you can check it out. I'm sure there's some sort of video about it. So Revere Beach Sandcastle Contest is a celebration of the beach's anniversary, and I don't know, it's some sort of anniversary, I forget. It might be like 250 years or something, but yeah, we've been going there for a long time. I think it's pretty much the oldest beach, at least in New England, the one that's been, managed by the city or the state. And it's a really good beach. There was a time that it was not such a good beach. Everybody went there and they weren't very good about picking up their litter. And so I remember going there as a kid and it having all this litter in the sand. But now they've cleaned it. They comb it all the time. And it used to actually be an amusement park. So you could go there and go on the rides. That's when I was a teeny tiny kid. It was actually one of my father's favorite places to go. There are all kinds of restaurants and stuff similar to Hampton Beach in New Hampshire, which is also fun. But now it's all like condos. Everybody wants to live on the beach, and so they made it into all condos. So it's still a really good beach. And of course, there are some really famous food purveyors. There's Kelly's Roast Beef, which is open year round, and they don't have like a restaurant, but it's like the best roast beef. Roast beef is a big deal. It's like a sandwich here. They slice it really super thin, and you can get it called a 3-way. It's not something I really eat all that much, but my sister really loves it. It's called a 3-way, which means sauce, cheese, and mayo. I don't know. And the sauce is kind of like like a barbecue-ish sauce. But it's really very popular, particularly here on the North Shore. So if you don't come for our clams, which is more of a Cape Ann thing, but Cape Ann's attached to the North Shore. But if you don't like clams, you can always get a roast beef, and you will definitely be eating like the locals. Here's what I'm doing as I'm talking is I am putting together the head. So you see I put the snout in there. Sorry if I'm not completely in the camera because I was so busy talking about Revere Beach. But I am just simply matching up the numbers that are listed here. So you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's 25 and that's a 25. And so it's the same deal as putting together like colors. I thought it would be harder with the 3 color, but it really actually wasn't, and it helped me sort of think about this differently. When you're doing all one color, it can actually be pretty daunting, but when you cut it out in this one and you cut it out in your 3 different colors, it actually makes a lot of sense. You can start to see that fox becoming an actual fox. I am using liquid glue, although I would caution you, if you're going to use liquid glue, it does not work if you're going to do this as a glitter. You really do need to use hot glue or double stick tape, something like that, but it will work with regular cardstock. So that's pretty cool. And actually, if you are stuck between, last week we did the baby owl, and so this week we're doing the fox, and I will tell you that I thought, even though the project said that the fox took longer, I thought the baby owl was actually more of a challenge than the fox. I felt the fox was easier to put together. Maybe it's because I could sort of visualize it better, but the owl was challenging for me, and it was sort of kind of a challenge. But anyway, so you see there's the head, there's the back of the head, there are the 2-tone ears and the nose with the snout. I have the feet on there. I did not find the owl easy to do. I honestly didn't. It was smaller, and you kind of need small fingers for that. And because he had a twisted head, because he's an owl, I had a really hard time sort of visualizing how he was supposed to look. But not the fox, because I could see how the fox had, the tail on the side. So you see here, we are putting in this sort of chest floof, right, like this, and it's going to meet the bottom of our piece right here. So let's see how this goes together. Okay, so here's the number 72. So I find 72 on here, and I make sure that I figure out how this goes together, and this is how it goes together. I still have to do 2 more tabs here for the legs, inside of the legs. My best advice for these are do it in steps. Don't feel obligated to finish it all at once. That will allow your glue to dry in between and make it so much easier to sort of negotiate the tough parts here. So having done this ahead of time was really good for me, and I spent quite a bit of time yesterday putting these major pieces together and figuring it might be easier. So you might think this is an easy project, but do expect to spend a couple of hours putting it together. It really does take that long. And you have to be patient with the process as well as with your glue. I have a few little gapes here, which I don't really like, but better than the legs coming out, right? So if you want it to be perfect, you really need to spend the time. I'm never interested in perfection. I'm just interested in completion. So for me, I like to be able to say, yeah, I did that. Maybe I don't like the outcome, but I did it, you see? And so for me, I'm all about, I guess, completion. So, that's me. But that's my old wabi-sabi stuff, is that I want to put this together, but maybe I'm not going to do it again because it was a challenge and I wanted to try it. So here we go. We're going to put this bottom part of the fox on. You see that becomes his like little haunches, and then over here is going to be the tail. But you have to make sure that your glue dries with each tab, because if you go to work on the next tab and you're moving it around, you're really manipulating this paper. You have to, if it comes undone, you have to go back and fix it. So it is a time-consuming thing. Next week with the freebies, I'm going to focus on paper things, and there may be a 3D thing in there, but mostly I just want to get back to cards. I love cards, and if you love cards like me, then you are going to want to watch. I also want to sprinkle in some back to school stuff, because I received a few little back to school items from my friends over at Cricut, and they are like more like vinyl projects, so I think we'll probably squeeze those in there. And I know that I said that we were going to work on infusible ink, and we still are. And so do not think that I forgot about that. We're going to work on infusible ink and also sublimation on sublimation on soft surfaces such as t-shirts, cosmetic bags, tote bags, wine bags, pillowcases, those sorts of things. We're not going to be working with hard surfaces, at least not for that portion. And hard surfaces I would consider mugs and also coasters, things like that, tumblers. If you want to see some of that stuff, which I love the mug press, don't get me wrong, but woo! Okay, that's Lola. I love the mug press. Okay, Lola. I don't know. Somebody's coming. And now I can hear the guinea pigs weeking from hearing Lola. Anyway, I just feel like we did a lot of mugs, and so it was a pretty easy, very straightforward thing to do. And I think a lot more questions are there about, like, what about soft surface things like t-shirts? Did I mention t-shirts? Yeah, t-shirts. And what about the soft substrates? That's hard to say. Soft substrates. So we've got most of this done, which is pretty exciting, right? I think what we'll do is we'll work on the tail next. And the tail is actually, I already kind of assembled it a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do the rest. And then it's going to go on this flat piece, which is actually the last piece of it, right? So, almost done here. And I'm not sure, but I think that these pieces actually get attached to the bottom piece. So let's look at the tail. So the tail has sort of like a cone-like thing. It just rolls up and you glue it together. That's all. It's like a cone. And then I attached it to this piece, which I prepared by gluing in these tabs, okay? And now I'm just going to secure the cone of the tail into the actual tail. So this is like the tip of the tail. Foxes are so adorable. So, and they're small, so I guess the size is kind of, maybe it's not completely accurate, but it sort of gives you the feeling that they are sort of longer and sleeker than a corgi. But I would have loved to make this larger and take the tail off and maybe make a corgi looking thing, but oh, alas, they don't make it so that I can modify it. Oh well. I found a lot of corgi type files in my travels and really enjoy doing them. It's sort of like you get bit by the corgi bug. And so, yeah, I suppose it's the same way with any breed of dog. And I'm not going to tell you that my breed is better than the rest. I just happen to be real attached to them, and have been keeping corgis, or corgis have been keeping me for close to 25 years now. And so that's why I was so glad that my two current guys were able to make the news. I mean, really make the news. Really nice picture, too. My friend sent it to me. I actually don't watch the news until it goes on, like, YouTube. So I did not see it yet, anyway. Also, I don't want to see myself on TV. Isn't that terrible? I really, really wish I wasn't like that. But I just think growing up in the 80s, I guess, that's when I was like more of a, high schooler and college. It just, seeing so many beautiful people in pictures and on film, I have really shied away from, I'm not a beauty, so I just have shied away from being in video. I just don't like that. I do this, and you don't get to see me, you get to see my hands, but because I am doing something, but just kind of being the center of attention on a video thing is not my deal. I just don't like it. But I need to get more used to it so that you can sometimes see my face. All right. I used to do a lot with my face because I have a friend that works in television now he's out in South Dakota, but he would say, "We want to see you." And I'm like, really? So I agreed. Okay, I'll do some with my face in there so that you could see it. And people would remark, but you know what? People are cruel. I was talking to, who was it? Aladra, and we were talking about her granddaughter, and I can't show you that video because her daughter said that she didn't want the granddaughter to be on video, and I totally get that, and I was very apologetic because there are some pretty sick individuals out there in the world that will turn something very innocent and charming into something sick, and I just don't want to do that for minors. But they also do it for adults as well. I've had my fair share of those situations, and it's not pleasant. It's just not pleasant when you get people that are, they can go from just being mean and saying nasty things to doing things that do affect your life. And I ran into a situation like that several years ago. And it was, a couple of young women. They were adults, but a couple of young women who decided, because I ran one of the biggest Cricut groups in the world and they were jealous about it, that they wanted to make my life miserable, and they did. And they contacted Cricut, and they contacted the police station for some reason to sort of report me. I don't know. They knew where I lived and how much my house was worth and all the other stuff that just kind of was really surprising. And sadly, our local police just says they don't know how to deal with stuff like that. I think they're learning now, but They just don't know. So if you're going to spend time online, just be aware that of what you post. I post a lot, and I talk a lot about my life because, I mean, I'm not going to tell you all the bad things either, because I don't want somebody to use it against me. Or I never put my opinions really about this or that because, you know, I'm kind of a little bit of a public figure. I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, but a public figure because you're doing videos online. And I even had recently something happen earlier in the year that was, you know, kind of daunting. And simply just some people that just want to make trouble. They're sickos, and that's what they do. They get off on it or something. I don't know. But for me, there's no reason to say retaliate because I don't want to spend my life doing that sort of thing. There's just, I think, acknowledging that there are people out there that are just nasty, and they are going to make even the best or the most innocent thing into a negative is enough. And just, I always go by the quote from Steve Martin. It said, be so good they can't ignore you. That's my like little quote for doing the videos is, you know, just I like to be so good that, you know, people can't ignore me. But then, you know, then I think about my friend Katharine Hepburn, who said, never complain and never explain. I still do some explaining, but I do not complain. So those are my sort of mottos in life. Was I just want to be so good that people can't ignore that I'm doing this, and then I'm not going to complain if I get a little bit of feedback that's negative or worse. It's not worth the time and trouble. So, okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm attaching the bottom, which kind of looks a little shady here. I don't know why, but I'm attaching the bottom piece right here to the top part, and this is a little struggle, so I would suggest that you be patient here, and that's why this hole is here, so you can make this connection. But I have some gaps, so I did not have the gaps here, but I'm, you know, doing this live, so just so you know, you probably want to aim for no gaps, not like what I'm doing. So here we are, almost done. And then, so you can see, here is the tail, and we're going to attach the tail like this. So just a few more pieces to do the tail. I'm using liquid glue. This is my Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, which is really great for paper. It doesn't really work too well for like glitter paper or like paper that has a special finish on it. So glitter, sparkle paper, shimmer paper, not the best, because it just has a hard time with that. But it does work well with regular cardstock, and I like it because it gives you a little bit longer to dry versus art glitter, Art Institute glitter glue, which I like that as well, but it's it dries really quickly, and I need the time to get things into place. That's how I do my stuff. So we're almost at the end here. And again, you're going to do a better job than me, because you're not going to be on a camera talking about Revere Beach with a bunch of, you know, people on the internet. You're going to have more time to pay attention to what you're doing, and so I don't have to divide, you know, I'm dividing my attention on the rest of this. But this is how I put this together. Since there were really no instructions here, this, you know, this is, I hope, helpful to you, and also helpful if you want to decide to do it. But if you were going to choose between the owl and the fox, personally, I like the fox. It was easier for me. My fingers are fatter, I guess, than was really ideal for the owl. So I suppose I could turn it this way. But you see how this looks on the bottom. It's flat. There are those legs. I'm so glad I got them in this time. And I just need to do a couple more pieces here, and we will be done. And we did good timing this time. So let's see. This is gonna go, and it does sort of wrap around like this. And don't be afraid to sort of fold in those pieces. It's like, so this is 21, and where's my 21? 20, is that 21? Oh, 21 goes on here. Haha. Okay, there we go. So I'm not sure if this stuff is really helpful, but I'm glad to do it because people were really interested in trying it. Maybe it's not your cup of tea, then that's fine too. I love to do all kinds of paper crafts. I will admit that these 3D projects have been challenging, but I had asked for them so often that I just felt obligated to do them because I had been asking and asking. And up until now, there really weren't a lot of really great 3D projects in Design Space. There are a lot of companies, well, I don't want to say a lot, but there are several companies that do 3D things really well. One being Dreaming Tree, another one SVG Cuts, and another one is my friend Lori Whitlock. So, and that's what we're going to be working on tomorrow. These are also paid files though, and a lot of people, they don't want to spend the money to do them. So, and which I totally get. Sometimes you just invest a lot of money in the craft and the materials that you just, what's going on? My guinea pigs are making a lot of noise this morning. I don't know why. They're just happy little gerbils. They're actually guinea pigs. So, all right. So this is how you're gonna do this. These geometric type of things, they're actually quite popular. I didn't realize how popular they are, and SVG Cuts actually has quite a few of them. Dreaming Trees goes for more realistic looking things. So I just want to check on this one. 79, yep. And they're more interested in like a realism type of thing, which is kind of me. So that's why I like to do their files a lot. I actually talked to them a couple weeks ago, and they suggested that when we do another big event, kind of like the sandcastle will be next week, tomorrow, that they can offer some prizes for people. And I said, yeah, that sounds great. So we're probably going to work with them on that. So you can win like gift cards to their shop. Would you like that? I hope you do. I think that would be fine. That would work for me. I love to give away prizes. All right. I'm not watching the chat, but it sounds like somebody is struggling with something. Dawn, maybe? The thing about this fox is there's no eyes. And I did go to Michael's the other day looking for something. And all I could really come up with was like really fake looking eyes, googly eyes and stuff. And I just thought, you know, googly eyes probably would ruin it. So I guess you just have to imagine the eyes. And maybe that's sort of the way that these geometric things sort of work. They're more, I don't know, artistic, sort of abstract or something. So I'm just going to do it the way they tell me to do it. So we're coming up on the end, although we are at the hour, almost at the hour mark. And so I don't want to keep you guys hanging for too long. Yeah. So it's almost done. There we go. Yeah. So Shelly, are you still traveling all around the United States? Shelly went on a kind of a whirlwind tour of Wisconsin. She went to the Mustard Museum, and she's following around her band that she likes to watch. I forget the name. I would do a shout out, but I don't remember the name. I almost want to say Adam Ezra, but I don't know. Is that right or wrong? Yeah, Leo is a very calm person. You're headed to Rochester. Yay! I don't know if she went to St. Louis. Did you? Did you go to St. Louis? Shelly's headed to Rochester, New York. That's my favorite area of New York, is upstate. I mean, I love New York City. Don't get me wrong, but I went to school in upstate New York, and I just love it there. Such a beautiful place, and the people are so friendly and nice. We went a couple of years ago. I took Owen on a bus trip. It was actually really funny. My sister Owen and I went on a bus trip, and she was the one who booked, because she loves to like find deals and make flights. Here comes.
Hell.
The bus trip was fun. It's an experience that we still talk about.
It was fun for you too.
Why? It was fun for you too. We went to obviously Boston.
I was in a bus all day with a bunch of people, sitting on my butt for almost 9 hours.
You're forgetting the most important thing, which was
we got to see the Statue of Liberty.
We did.
9/11 Memorial.
Yeah, we did. We saw the Statue of Liberty, 9/11 Memorial. We went to the White House. We went to Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial, and the pool. You know, the reflecting pool, and we saw. We saw the Independence Hall in Philadelphia, and then we went to Niagara Falls, which was you loved. And
I'm gonna go get it. Hold on.
No, what are you doing? So,
no. Hold on.
Oh man, he likes to hijack my videos. So, but the funniest thing about this whole thing was that my sister, unbeknownst, it was a Chinese-speaking event. So everybody on the bus, except for a few people. Oh yeah, we went to Fort. Was it Ticonderoga or some fort?
We didn't go to the fort.
I don't know if it was Fort Ticonderoga. It was up near Niagara Falls that we went to.
We have to go on that bus again.
But
I want to go on that bus.
But the cool thing was that, you know, the guy was speaking Chinese. Remember, we went to Chinatown and we had dinner at that market.
Chinatowns in New York.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I thought there was one.
Yeah. So I love Owen hijacking. Yeah, he's funny. He should get his own show, though. I keep telling him, get your own show.
Special.
A
Get
Netflix.
Netflix on this.
Oh, you know, and I'll tell you, if you've never been in Niagara Falls, it's not what it used to be in terms of like a vacation destination, as far as like seeing things and looking around. But Niagara Falls, I've been many times actually, is worth stopping for. It's sort of like the the Grand Canyon of the Northeast, really. And it's just breathtaking. I've been there in the middle of summer and the middle of winter. And it's breathtaking at any time. In the fall, it's particularly awesome because of all the leaves around it. But the actual like city is really like run down, depressed. Like my folks vacationed, did their honeymoon in Niagara Falls, and I think back then, which was in the 60s, it was quite the destination, but it is no longer the destination, really. But it's worth going to. And then you can bring your passport and go to the Canadian side. The Canadian side is better, as far as like, it's still kind of touristy, but it's like a little more high scale touristy. So yeah, Niagara Falls was like kind of the last trip. And then we drove by bus through upstate New York and then through Massachusetts and home to Boston. Actually, we dropped off at Harvard. And it was a long trip because we did all of that in like 3 or 4 days. And with most of the stuff being explained in Chinese. There was also like a little contingent from Spain on there. So we were the only Americans speaking English. And thankfully I know some Spanish, and I was able to understand and talk with the Spanish people. But the Chinese eludes me. I'm not a Chinese. I don't speak any Asian language. Wow, how do you like that? Okay, I think I'm done. Here you go. Here is our adorable, let me show you all around. There is our cute, I think I will go back and fix some of these gaps, and here I don't know that it's completely on there as well. But there is the fox. I hope you like it. You can do it in all kinds of colors. This one was in more of a pumpkin, and this is more of a color that is sort of authentic. I think the fox would look really cute in green or blue. I don't know, just because it would accent the fact that it's sort of abstract. It doesn't have to be authentic, but it does stand on its own. I can't really show you. Anyway, yeah. Oh, really? In real life, or somebody made it? Anyway, yeah. A blue fox. That would be kind of cool. I think there's actually a restaurant called the Blue Fox. So anyway, thanks so much for coming today. Thank you for your patience too, as my dogs were minor celebrities and we experienced a minor earthquake, and also for putting up with me this week because it's been a trying sort of week. But I'm hoping things start settling down. Oh, by the way, Mom is doing right. I visited her. She absolutely loves it there. She loves being fed 3 meals a day. She said she cannot remember the last time that she was actually sitting, on a regular meals at a table. She living alone, she mostly just kind of ate like at at her TV and stuff. So this is really good. The conversation's good. There's plenty of puzzles because I guess people donate their old puzzles there. And so she said she's in her little puzzle glory, and she hasn't yet started with the activities, but that's because of her hand. Her hand is doing much better. She went to a local doctor and they said the surgery looked good. I mean, she had to have the sling or whatever, the cast. It's not really a cast, but had to have the wrap on for a couple more weeks, maybe a month. But she's doing much better than being alone and having to deal with this stuff all by herself. So, in case you were wondering. So, I might come back and give you the address of her address if you're interested, so that you can send. She doesn't want a wreath. She's like, no, don't make me a wreath. So, because she has so many. But maybe you could start a pen pal thing with some of the older women. I think they would like that. And so I can talk to the activities director about that. That would be kind of a fun thing. Maybe we can take that on as a challenge for Christmas. Because, I'm sure they don't receive all that much mail, and we could send it and Krista could hand it out if that's something that's fun, would be fun to you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Yeah, cards for birthdays. Yeah, might be fun. So my mom is staying in assisted living place in Beverly, and I think they said they had 200 residents, and I think it's half and half, or maybe 60-40 with women. And I was trying to think of how we could incorporate our skills, our card making skills. And I thought maybe we can have some pen pals. And I'm going to talk to Krista about that because she's real eager. When I went to see Mom, she was real eager to work with me. And I thought, well, I've got to bring all of you around. And so maybe we'll set up a group or something. We do also have a card group, but it is closed. So if you've ever wanted to be part of like a card group where you can do pen pals, maybe we'll set up one for these local places. Who knows? It could grow and grow. You don't know. We can post pictures and stuff. So if you're interested in that, drop me a line or comment or something. My email address. Why am I not having a good time with this? My email address, as you may already know, is missritatotherescue@gmail. Okay? I think that's it for today, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here on Facebook Live for our sandcastle. And I hope you have a wonderful day, actually 2 days, and get some crafting in. I know I'm going to. Take care. Bye-bye.